Good morning. We are live. 12/12/18. Yes. December 12th, 2018. A Wednesday. Continuing our journey through the spiderverse with good old spiderham. Little pig dressed in a Spider-Man suit. Gonna have some fun with him today. Hope you enjoy the stream, whether you catch it live or later on today. So if you're joining now, welcome to the room. And if you're watching it at a later time, welcome. If you are watching at a later time and have not yet subscribed, I would invite you to. There's a subscribe button down below. If you hit that, you will be subscribed. A little bell will pop up. If you tap the bell, that's for notifications. And that basically sends out a little, hey, John is live on air or has loaded up some content to his YouTube channel for you to view at your leisure or live. So you got a lot of options. And if you like what you see me do here, you can always give the video a thumbs up. And if you're interested or have questions, there's a comment section down below. If you just want to say hi, you can do that there. Or if you have a technical question or something like that, you can also place it there. So let's see. We're going to get moving on Spiderham here and see how he turns out today. Another first for me. I don't think I've ever drawn Spiderham before, so quite a few firsts. I would like to mention that this piece is available for purchase at any time during this stream. Should you decide you want it, just type dibs in. And if you're the first person to do that, it will be yours. I will hold it for you. And if it doesn't sell on the stream, I will either put it up in my shop later this same day, which today is December 18th, 2018, and let it hang around and see if it sells there. And if it doesn't, then it'll go back into my collection and I'll decide what to do with it later. So that's it. Pretty easy to understand, hopefully. And I haven't gotten to the end yet, or close to the end, since I'm just starting. However, I've been toying with the idea of adding color to Spiderham here. A little bit of red, a little bit of blue. That's all he really needs. Maybe a little yellow vignette in the background or something. Primary colors. So we'll see. Trying to get my bouncy outlining going. I will probably do pen work with the webbing, of course. When I was drawing this out, I was considering putting him on a black background. But I had the thought that I might do color. And in doing my reference search for him online, I saw a nice image where he was on a nice bright yellow background. So that gave me a chance to pause and kind of reconsider. Which is also what kind of sparked me into thinking like, oh, you know what, maybe if he goes pretty quickly, I'll splash him with some color. But we'll see. It could still wind up being a black background. Just depending. I will say it was a chilly morning in Florida. Ron actually texted me a picture from somewhere he was driving, and there was a light, it was either ice or snow, and he's in Florida, little north of me, but it was pretty amazing. Could have been snow, but I don't know if it just wasn't like a bunch of frozen dew out in the middle of a field. But whatever it was, let's just say it was cold enough to freeze that up, and that's pretty cold in Florida, or anywhere for that matter, right? I think when I got up this morning, I think it was around 39 degrees out. So if anybody's watching this 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or however long YouTube will be around and keep content available, you'll know what the temperature was in the early morning of the Daytona Beach area on December 12th, 2018. So what I've been doing this week is going through the Spider-Verse in preparation for the movie that gets a nationwide release, maybe worldwide, I'm not sure. Actually, I misspoke. I see that it's being released on Thursday, which I guess is the new thing to do now. A lot of movies, I guess, it's a Thursday. I won't be seeing it until Friday or Saturday. So, the characters I don't know, which have pretty much been all of them so far. I mean, I do know Spiderham here. I know of him. Don't know his story. Spider-Gwen, who I did Monday, kind of familiar with her, but not really. And yesterday's character, Spider-Man Noir, totally knew nothing about him and still don't really know enough about him. So I hope the movie will educate me. Tomorrow we will be doing Peter Parker Spider-Man, who I do know about. And I'm thinking about doing a split, where half of his head is the Spider-Man web head costume and the other half is the Peter Parker animated, as close as I can get, animated version. So it's almost like a Two-Face type of drawing, where you just go down the middle and one half looks like Peter Parker, the other half is with the mask on. The reason I think I'll do that is because I just did a web-headed Spider-Man for Dr. Kaz, and I don't really feel like repeating one so soon, so I'll kind of think I need to mix it up a bit. Hey, good morning, Tater. Yep, good old Spiderham here. A fun little character. All these characters have been fairly interesting. Characters that I haven't done before, so that's always a good challenge that I enjoy. The problem with one and out, though, is you get one character and maybe you like it, and the great thing about being on a series of a book is you can establish over time your real true take on the character. It's very few artists can come in, do one drawing, and kind of really feel the character. I'll tell you who I think my favorite artist to do that. They can take the most mundane character and make it interesting is Michael Golden. He's got a brain like nobody else, and the way he thinks about characters is pretty amazing. So whenever he's given an assignment, I just, I always look forward to seeing how he's going to handle a character, even for a cover. And he always he always comes through with some unique twist or something, and just owns the character, makes it his. And I've seen him do it at conventions too, so it's pretty phenomenal when somebody can do that. And I'll tell you a secret, since it's just you and I in the chat, Tater, although I see there are other people watching. Now I forgot what I was going to tell you. Well, I guess I'm having a senior moment, huh? Oh, I know what it was. I know what I was going to tell you. The one character, even worse than Iron Man for me. Ron, if you're listening and can't chime in, you'll appreciate this perhaps, or perhaps you'll scratch your head. The one character that I have refused to do at conventions, turn down money to do, is the Punisher. Good morning, Paul. How are you today? Because usually I am sitting right next to my pal Mike Zeck, and as I've mentioned before, he is the Punisher artist in my eyes. Nobody has established a better feel for the character than him. And I do not like drawing the Punisher, even when he is not next to me. Kind of for the same reason I don't like doing Sergeant Rock. I feel, well, and probably Enemy Ace too, I feel Joe Kubert can only draw those characters correctly. And not that I haven't tried, I have, but never works. Never works out for me, so I'm doing well, Paul. Doing well, thank you. So yeah, Tater, I hope, I was busy jibber jabbering there while giving the answer that I think you were asking the question. So reason being is I just, my Punisher is not going to come close to Mike's. And he's got a certain, I don't know. I see the Punisher in a certain way, and it's like, it's the way Mike draws him. I think I actually did it once on a sketch cover. And I can I can say, why do I give myself tongue twisters in the morning? If that word doesn't come out of my mouth correct when I first attempt it, it's no use fighting it. But I can say that the guy was uh, happy with what I did. Um, I could tell. I mean, there was no remorse or anything like that. But for me, I didn't like it. And I was happy that he liked it, but I just didn't feel comfortable with it. Yeah, that's right, Tater. Let's not think of a Punisher week. That would probably not do well with me. Let me see here. Okay. I have no idea. I'm just talking to myself here. I have no idea why this email that just came in went to an email address that I've been asking people to stop using. But anyway, yeah, Punisher Week is probably slim to none, with none being the best bet. I think part of the reason for that is I feel like I myself have to do a Punisher that looks like Mike's, um, which I know is not going to happen. I know that's kind of the wrong thought process on that too. Um, so that would be cool. Mike really doesn't. He said he's never listened to a podcast before, and so people have asked both of us at conventions, and I always tell them I'm up for it, but you got to convince Mike, and he just doesn't have an interest to do it. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things that um, what would the eagle say when the hell freezes over tour or something, and or they said they'd get back together when hell freezes over, and then they actually had a tour. So I think it would be kind of like that if Mike was to ever change his mind, which I don't see happening, by the way. So not to get anyone thinking that it could happen. The most I think that we'll get out of Mike speaking in public is at a panel at a comic convention. That's your best bet to ask him some questions. And we've done those. We've done quite a few. We've even had Jim Shooter, Mike, and myself do Secret Wars panels, and some of those are on YouTube if you search them. And Mike and I have also done a couple of panels just ourselves on our work together. And there was a panel, I think it was maybe last year, or well, I mean last year meaning this year, or last year meaning 2017, where we did do one. Stephen Grant, Mike, and I did a Punisher panel. Good morning, Dr. Kaz. How's your cold morning getting off to? It's been very cold here in Florida. And you know what? I think that sharpness setting that I found in my camera little software thing, I think that was what I was lacking. Because I've noticed now, since I've run the sharpness up to 100, that my streams are a lot sharper. Glad I looked around. I think I probably saw it before, and since it was just in the middle at 50, I thought, you know what? And there is a thing called over sharpening. Like in Photoshop, you can over sharpen something to where it almost looks fake. Like on a photograph or something, you can make it over sharp. And so that's why I never messed with it. But then I was just like, well, let's see what this does. And bang, it brought out the nice. It is getting colder, but of course, you know what'll happen, Dr. Kaz? All of us down here in the South, Christmas Day will roll around and it'll be like 85 degrees out. We're getting all our cold weather before Christmas. Not that I'm real sentimental about that, but it is kind of weird when all your friends up north are having cold Christmases and stuff, and you know, I could go to the beach. And a lot of people have down here gone to the beach on Christmas. But what you gonna do, right? I'll take it. I'll take the warm weather over the cold. I mean, after all, that is why I stayed in Florida. So I didn't have to deal with cold and snow and ice and sleet. Couldn't escape the rain though. So I want everybody to know that all the pieces of artwork and the one that I'd forgot from the week before were mailed out yesterday. So I still have the ones from Monday and Tuesday. Please, please give me until next Monday or Tuesday to get the ones I'm doing now out. Um, I like to have a nice little review of them on Fridays. So I kind of keep them, and it also keeps me from. I did try the click and ship, and for some reason it was acting up and it wouldn't let me send first class. It would only let me send like priority, which is way expensive on a little piece of artwork like this. If I started sending priority, I would probably have to charge for shipping. And I don't want to do that. Dr. Kaz, you didn't happen to get in on one of those Mike Zeck Artist Edition books where he had the sketches in them, did you? Those dropped last night in his shop. And I think they went in about 7 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. Hey Noah, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Thanks for stopping in. Uh, yeah, that was very cool what he did. Those were the artist editions that he had the headshot plate tipped in, and then he added a little bit of extra body part to them. I thought they were pretty cool. That guy's all right. He can draw. He can draw a little bit, right? All right. Good deal, Noah. Well, this is the first time I've ever drawn him, so uh, hopefully, hopefully I'm doing him justice. I think so, so far. I think I might add color to him. Since I've got some nice bright colors here that instead of going with the ink wash, I think I'm going to bring out the red and the blue and maybe do a little yellow, which I saw, the third primary color, which I saw in the reference. I had mentioned that earlier. What I'm wondering if I'm going to do is after I see the movie, I might try to do a bigger piece, including all the characters, once I have a little better understanding of what's going on. And then that might be something that I'll make a print of if I get the time. Time. Dr. Kaz says Punisher's gun transition sketch was awesome. Yes, that was really cool. I thought that was, and that of course was the first one to go. But really, really well done. Okay, I think I'm gonna do some pen work now because I got all of this web stuff to do. I kind of just wanted to get a nice cartoony bounce outline going here. But yep, 100% agree with you, Dr. Kaz. That Punisher piece with the gun continuation was righteous. Well done, Mr. Zek. But we should expect no less. Okay, I need to adjust. I can see I'm a little there. Now we're doing framing a bit better. I thought I was probably getting a little too low there. That's my poor posture. Well, actually, I have good posture, Dr. Kaz, or at least I think I do, but that's only standing up. Sitting down, I think I have horrible posture. I lean over. I stretch my neck to the art. I remember seeing Joe Kubert's drawing board, and it was like almost straight up and down. Amazing. And I kind of know why now. He wasn't like pulling any muscles from his back or hips forward. He was sitting upright and able to draw more natural. And also on that note, I've seen a few videos of my buddy Paulo Rivera where he has actually got his to where he can stand up and work. Now, I haven't drawn standing up, but I imagine once you get used to it, that could be very, very good. Yeah. I do have a computer table that will let me stand, and when my back really got the best of me, I was using it, and now I'm back to not using it. So once the pain went away, I was using it to stand to do like email, uh, non-drawing or non-computer art type stuff. If I was scanning something or whatever, you know, putting a like building a thumbnail or something like that, yeah, I would stand and use it. But when I was doing real serious work on the computer, like a drawing or something, then I didn't. Um, I I had to sit back down. But that was, like I told you, my back got to the point where sitting was like the thing I did not want to do. And when it worked its way out, I went back to my bad habits. And I'm sure you hear that quite a bit in your practice. So if you ever hear me complaining about back pain, you can tell me, John, you knew what you should have been doing, or I kind of know. I was watching uh, Jim Lee has a Twitch channel, but it also shows on YouTube. And I stumbled across him doing a Darth Vader this morning, and I'm about a third of the way through watching it, and it's very, very interesting. Jim is a really great talent. I prefer when he gets a little more impressionistic on his work, like he has been, and not so many lines. But what really impressed me was, I think he had said something about he had never really drawn Darth Vader before, and so he kind of built the figure, and then he explained the helmet, that it's bigger than you think. So if you really don't draw the head underneath the body, you're going to draw the helmet too small. And as he also was looking at his reference to go by, he was explaining, and you will find this true as I have. But this was just a really cool video. He found himself noticing things as he was drawing that, his memory of Darth Vader, just from, off the top of his head, was so unlike what the reference was telling him. And he had to make those adjustments. He had to force himself not to do certain things in the drawing that he felt were right. Because that's the way his memory had recalled from seeing, just from seeing Darth Vader drawings or movies and stuff like that. But when you really got down to dissecting the way the helmet fit on the head and the angles of it and stuff, it was really quite surprising to him. How different the actual thing was as compared to his memory of it. And I found that to be highly interesting. So for all you aspiring artists out there, I would say watch that, because it is really going to help you when you draw to really, notice things. You always hear people talk about drawing what you see, and that's what Jim was doing. Is he was drawing. He had to force himself to draw what he was seeing, not what he thought he saw. I guess that's the best way I can sum it up. And it really impressed me that it was just a great video, in the sense that, like I said, as somebody at his caliber, instead of just getting in and kind of rushing through a piece and, yeah, it's going to look like Darth Vader, that he actually took the time to really look at the reference, get the angles right, and not just go by what he knew or what he thought he knew. So I will try to link that video down below, so that if y'all are interested, you can watch it. Because, as I said, I've been doing a lot of self-study, and this was one I normally would have passed by, but I had a little bit of time to kill, and I started watching it, and I really think, for myself, I think I'm going to start paying a lot more attention to Jim's stream. I think there's a lot there that can be learned from someone like Jim, who has a good grasp of drawing, but then even he's going back and realizing, there's certain characters and stuff that he hasn't worked on, that he has to figure out what he thinks is right versus what he's seeing from reference is right. Good morning. Is it Manos? Hello. How are you? Thanks for tuning in today. I believe it's the first time I've seen your name in the room, so welcome. That's kind of like me with this spiderham drawing. I'm, I had to pull out reference, and I'm still not sure I'm 100% on model, but I'm happy enough with it where I can take this to a finish. And I know that, again, if this was like a monthly assignment, I would get myself, if I was inking the book and they had a turnaround already established, which I'm sure they do, I would ask for it so that for my own inking and or drawing reference, I would be able to follow the forms, the way the webbing works wrapped around the head. It's things like that that really will make your work stand out from the crowd when you put in that extra effort to not just draw what you think you know, but to actually draw what you see. Especially when it's something like as complicated as Darth Vader's helmet. That is a very complicated helmet. I've drawn it before, and when I draw it again, I know what I'm going to be thinking of, that Jim Lee video. I'm going to be thinking of Jim doing it and how he, how he wanted to make the angles how he wanted, but how he stayed true to the reference. And I think that's a good exercise. I think you can fake it well enough that people are going to know it's Darth Vader because he's such a, it's like Batman. Everybody has their own interpretation of Batman, but I think at least once you need to draw it correctly, and then you could go on and take liberties with it. Within reason, of course. Yes, Dr. Kaz. That's the whole point. It's like, it's really funny because a lot of people that go to draw, somebody, anyone in a helmet, they'll just kind of draw the helmet. They won't draw the head and then place the helmet on top. And you don't have to draw a detailed head, but get the structure in there, get it proportionally correct, then fit the helmet on top of the head, and you might be surprised. So I found that video very cool, and I'm glad that, like I said, I'm glad somebody of Jim's caliber took the time to explain it. And I think, the other interesting part is, excuse me, I think the whole video is only like an hour and 6 minutes or something like that from start to finish. Now it's a bust, but still, I spend 2 hours inking these little 6x8s. Now I don't know how loose he got in the inking. I do tend to get a little tighter in my inking, which slows me down. And but I'll tell you, I was extremely impressed, to say the least. Not that Jim's got talent, just that there it is right in front of you. One of the best, if not one of the most popular, comic artists going by, basically following the rules of, of good drawing instead of just cheating. Which he could have easily, like I said, he could have easily cheated his way out of it. But man, you know, I think my, I don't know. eh, That's true. So you probably saw the video I'm talking about, Dr. Kaz, or you searched it and found it? Because I know he did like keep looking back instead of it should have been in front of him, or I keep my iPad over to my side with a reference image that I'm working on full size on my iPad Pro, so it's pretty big. Um, Therefore, I have a good view. All I got to do is look to the side. I would prefer it to be directly in front of me, but I don't have that set up yet. Working to get there. But as I begin to study drawing more, and it's been a while since I've really, really, really uh, sat down and rethought what I know and what I don't know. It's amazing uh, to find out, uh, you know, that I've really forgotten a lot of basics, and I am so happy that I've made it a point to kind of do a self study of my own art and to take the people that influence me and the people that don't, but if they have a good point, uh, to pay attention and look at what they can teach me. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna have to finish that. Yeah, he does look back at the reference. Hey, Dr. Kaz, I do not want to put you on the spot. So if you want me to get with you on this via email, which we should, I will. Um, but I was wondering if we could do an interview with you, if you'd feel comfortable with that. And what I want to do is basically maybe you could give some tips on people like myself, um, who sit a lot at their job, proper sitting techniques, and um, just an overall what we need to do. I know we should be getting up every at least 30 minutes and stretching our legs, taking a short walk. I would like to make it a nice little interview where you could kind of recommend, hey, if you're an artist, if you're someone, here's, here's what I suggest to, if you have back pain, if you don't have back pain, keep it away, something like that. If you don't have an interest in doing that, that's cool. If you do, I would like to have you on the show. I have some ideas for other things. Um, And I thought about this the other day, and I thought, wow, this could not only help me, but it could help a lot of people, uh, comic book artists or otherwise, that probably don't realize they're sitting wrong, or if they do, they don't know what they can do to, you know, maybe get out of the habit. Anyway, I just, you came to mind, and I thought since you were a fan of the medium of comics, uh, that you might be willing to help. Because, like I said, for myself personally, I never had back pain till I started traveling, and now I know that I should probably be seeing a chiropractor and maybe a masseuse on a semi-regular um, basis. I am also going to be in the market for a new chair. Um, I had the Herman Miller Aaron, whatever. I bought it in 2005. It was almost $1,000. And while I liked certain features of it, such as the mesh, which, it being in a hot state such as Florida, was very nice, the rest of it was, and I didn't realize this, or didn't, it didn't start to fall apart and get bad till, you know, but they know about the lumbar support thing. I started finding this stuff out. They know that that thing breaks and you have to send for a replacement, and I would never buy another one. I will say that. Only for the fact that I do have experience in one. But I see they have some new chair out now. But I also, my desk is made by a company called, I think it's Autonomous. They started out on Kickstarter, and they have a chair now for $300, and it has like a hip, uh, it's got a neck, a hip, all sorts of adjusting things. I've been looking at that one, and they do offer a guarantee. Um, and if you don't like it, they'll even pay the shipping back. Hey, Ron. Good morning. How's that snow out there? Or was that just frozen dew looking like snow? Whatever it was, it sure did look cold. That's right, Ron. Yeah, that, you know what? It was like 39 here. So I figured it was frozen dew. But boy, it looked like a light covering of snow. I should tell Jacob it snowed in Ocala. Nah, I couldn't do that to the little guy. He he would go, "Let's go, Daddy. Come on. I want the snow." $30. Wow. What's it looking like now? What's your temperature now that it is what's it after 10:15? Are you up to 40 yet? Well, thank you, sir. I think I'm gonna hit him with some color since I have a nice bright red and he's blue, and maybe do a little yellow vignette type thing, just a loose yellow wash around him. That's what I'm thinking. Well, hell, hold on 1 minute. That was well, not hell, people. Um, let's see. Hmm. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Whoa. Hey. My my other computer just came on. I got to go kill that sound. Okay, sorry about that. Let me see. Yes, good posture for artist video from Dr. Kaz. Okay, so does that mean you would come on and we could discuss what an artist, how they should sit and how often they should get up, move around. Maybe and I know this gets into a area that's not comfortable of, you recommending certain, and I guess you could do it in your practice, but on air it might be not a good practice of naming maybe some chairs that for a fact are good, uh, that are good for posture, Dr. Kaz. Because as I said, I'm looking, and I know it's going to be one of those things that, here's the deal. Everybody always says, when you spend $1,000 or around 1,000 or 300 or 500 for a chair, they flip out. But what they don't understand is, that chair should last you a long time. And, sitting in a good chair for a long period of time is a lot cheaper than sitting in a cheap chair that's going to break on you, and then you got to go buy another one, and it's going to wreck your back. Now, like I said, I feel I've been relatively lucky. I think the back problems that I have had the past couple years are a result of a lot more travel uh, by air, sitting in bad convention seats, and me just, when I do sit, it's not the best, and getting older, let's I'm not afraid to, as we age, things change. I'm all good with that. So, I just want to do I had to go buy a new mattress. I guess it's been about 2 years now, and that was the best money I spent. Oh man, I won't say what brand it is or anything, but you know what? It was not the most expensive thing, or it wasn't even a quote name brand that you would see. But I'll tell you what, when I lay on it, I can really tell the difference. Okay, Ron. Yep, this weekend is probably a good possibility, if not Saturday, because I might be seeing the Spider-Man movie. Maybe on Sunday. Saturday if I see the movie on Friday, though. Definitely. All right. I am going to get the blacks filled on this. I am going to take a quick break to run to the restroom and grab my bottles of colored ink to go ahead and color this one up. I think it'll be a nice change of pace from the ink wash. It's not going to be that exciting. It's going to be the same colors, just a nice flat color, although, there'll be a little bit of, I don't really want to call it streaking, but just the human touch. And as I was saying, for those interested, I will remember to put a link to the Jim Lee video that I discussed in this stream. I will pin it in the comment section. And in that way, you all will be able to watch Jim work out that Darth Vader drawing the right way. Let's see. Noah says it is exciting for us fans. Oh, look forward to color. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, Dr. Kaz. Okay. Those are all good points. Keep back straight. No, I don't. I always look down, although I'm trying to stop that. Um, Monitor, mine's pretty much straight up. So when I'm at the computer, it's a little bit less. It's more when I'm at the drawing board. Number 5, try to keep head still, not looking over shoulder. Yeah, I try to keep my head still, although it's looking down and stretched forward. Take a break every 30 minutes. That's the tough part. Shoulder, neck, and back stretch. Hey, good morning, AG. I'm sure you're having a wonderful cold day. Also, if I'm having it in Florida, you must be having it up north. And you got here just in time for my break to run to the restroom, but then I'm going to come back and put some color on this. So, yeah, I like that idea, Dr. Kaz. I think that's very valuable information for anybody, any creative that's sitting for long periods of time. I especially do agree with the getting up every 30 minutes, but sometimes, as you well know, when you get in a creative zone, breaking yourself out of that is pulling up when you're in a zone, in that zone where you're really functioning. That's the hardest part, because sometimes when you get up, you never get it back. And I know your reply to that is, but is your health of your back and your shoulder, neck, is it worth it? And I get that. I totally get it. So, all good points, sir. Oh, I would love that. Believe me, I do not have a person here to go see on a semi-regular or regular basis, and I don't know what the protocol, how often you need. I guess that's up to the doctor, like when they feel you need to come in. But I'm going to run and use the restroom and stretch my legs down the hallway and get my inks ready to put color on this. So I will be right back. Give me a couple of minutes, and I hope you all continue to watch. I'll be right back. Okay. Tried to make that quick. All right. I'm just seeing if I want to. There's a couple areas here that I think in the blue might look better if I make them a little less open. Kind of give it the old Kirby, it's just a shape. It doesn't really need to represent anything, but it just gives me that black so it's not such a open. And then here on his arm on this side, something like this. And I guess I can leave this over here for blue on his other side of his belly. All right. Get another brush. Okay. Nothing wrong with that, AG. Little ham and eggs, little green eggs and ham. I remember the first time I read that to my son. Uh, then he wanted Mama to fix green eggs and ham, and I told him, I said, well, I don't know if I would actually eat green eggs and ham. So I said, if the eggs are green, I might be suspect of them, and if the ham's green, I'd really be suspect of it. I think we're going to go ahead and tackle the red first because it is the biggest area. So I will probably work in the ears area first because there's a couple areas I can kind of break this up into. And I am going to leave a little bit. I'm looking at my reference, even though they have it on that dark background. I'm still going to leave that little bit of white highlight. I kind of like it. All right, and for anybody curious, what I'm using is Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolors. These are actually supposed to be or can be toned down with water, hence the name concentrated, but I kind of like to use them most of the time full strength because of their intense color. As you can see, it's a very nice. This is scarlet for the red. I'm going to have to use the blue that I have is not as dark as I would like. It's an ice blue, but since I don't have a lot of blue, it's going to, the Spider-Man blue is kind of it's a darker blue, but it'll be fine for what I need it for. Let's see, can I leave just a little bit of white? There we go. That's right, Ron. Rim lighting. Can't get anything by Ron. He's hip to the to the terms. Yeah, they really are. They're fun, and I'll tell you what. I have a purple, and boy, I used it full strength, and that was a mistake, though. It was too dark. So the piece I did, which was just a two-tone piece, was almost, you couldn't see it because the purple was too dark. So I wound up having to redo it and watering the purple down. I didn't I didn't I didn't test it on a piece of paper first. I just went right in with it. And as soon as I put down the first big stroke, I was like, uh-oh. And then I'm like, well, maybe it'll dry lighter. I should have known better. And I'm not ignoring any chat. I'm just moving this color around as quickly as possible so I don't get any unnecessary pooling. So when I get a chance here soon, I'll see if there's any new comments that I need to address or questions. There may be, there may not be, but right now, the safest thing for me to do is keep the paint moving. I want to get the red done. Give it a little bit of dry time. Okay, voila. Now I can take a breath. Yeah, it's funny too because I can even see like a few little areas here when I look on it on the monitor where the light's hitting it. It shows me a few little spots that should blend in now. And the interesting thing is, even though I rinse this brush out, when I do it again later today, when I go down to the bathroom and pour the water out and take my brushes and put them back into some clean water, it will, whatever's dried in there will come back out. So this one, this brush is one of the Simply Simmons. I use it. Uh, this is not the one I use for the ink. It's strictly for color, and I've used different colors in it. But it will, you know, once it's dried for a few hours, it'll kind of reactivate as soon as I put it back into some clean water. Okay. Up. That tape's about had it. I'm going to have to get a new piece. Let's see. Yes, Kirby did some really cool stuff with these colors. And the color combinations with his work, I agree. They were fantastic. Ron got a package. He got him some bologna and cheese. Good. Um, Copics are great if you don't have black ink to color over, because I have yet to find a black marker or even real black ink that Copic will not smear. And I have found out that watercolor will go over a lot of different pens and not move the ink. So it's kind of interesting to note that, you know, that you would think that Copic having their own you know, their own pens, that they would be compatible, that they wouldn't smear with their colors, but that's not the case. They do smear, and it's not pretty, especially when you spend a lot of time working on a piece and then go to color it and you get smudges all over, and you're thinking, well, I'm using everything's Copic, everything's copacetic. And then you realize that it's not gonna work. So this is the ice blue. It's a little bit lighter blue than I would normally put on a Spider-Man character, but since it's such a little bit of blue, it's gonna work. We're gonna make it work. How about that? It will work. And again, you know, just like anything, just like with the ink wash, if you have a light wash and you want it darker and you have time to let it dry and go back over it, you can build up layers to make it darker. But we're already past the 2-hour mark, I believe, on this, so time is a little bit of the essence. I need to start getting faster, like Jim Lee drawing that the Darth Vader, which I will link to in the comments. I'll pin it so that you all can watch that. I think it's, if you're learning drawing, I think it's an excellent lesson that I'm glad I stumbled across, and will definitely tune in to Jim's cast more regular now that I know he's dropping knowledge bombs like that. I thought he was just on there drawing, but man, you know, when I saw that one and got a hold of, or got a listen of just the first, I think I'm about 15 to 18 minutes in on a hour and 6 minute long. Definitely worth the time. But yeah, Ron, that's the short answer. While this is kind of drying, I just want to take the time to thank everybody before I go in with the yellow and add a little bit for coming out and viewing today. I see we have some viewers. If you're not a subscriber, I would ask that you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. It's free. There's a subscription button. Should be somewhere like down. Where's down here somewhere, I believe. Maybe it's the other side, but you can click that. A little bell icon will pop up. Tap that for notifications. If you like what you're seeing, if you've watched some of my other ones, thumbs up. How about a like? And remember, leave a comment down below. Is it only on Sunday, AG? I thought he was live streaming every day. I thought he did something every day at like 10 o'clock Pacific time, 10 to 12, which would make it 1 o'clock our time, or, well, my time, East Coast time, 10, 11, 12, 1, yeah, 1 to 3, something like that. I'm always looking for something to watch and listen to while I work, so yeah, Jim Lee, Ron. Now that's yellow. Boy, loving that. Well, I understand that because, like I said, once convention season really kicks into place for me, I won't be on here as often as I am now for sure. I'll be Thursdays, I'll be flying. Mondays, I'll be flying back home. Tuesdays, I might be recovering. And when it gets real busy, I'm usually in and out, like literally coming home Monday and flying back out on Thursday. But I will try my best to get on when I can, as usual. Hey, Tater. Yeah, well, there you go. And I will mention, in case anybody is interested, that nobody has claimed Spiderham yet, so he is up for dibs if anybody in the room is interested. And if not, he will eventually either make it onto my store or be sold somewhere, maybe at a convention. Sometimes I like to take some little pre-made stuff to conventions if I have it. Or sometimes I get contacted by people and say, "Hey, do you have that piece of art that, is it still available?" Yeah, the yellow I picked up, if you Google spiderverse spiderham, you'll see a piece of advertising they used for the movie. And I basically stole using the yellow background from this big poster where they just have this flat yellow, like this color yellow, is real bright yellow background. And I thought, wow, that's really intense. I like that because I was thinking maybe black, and I saw the yellow and I was like, whoa, yellow it is. In fact, I'm beginning to think uh, I might do the whole background yellow. I might just flatten it all in. The yellow, you don't really got to worry too much about the blends. Um, yeah, I think I could just do this whole thing in yellow and it will look cool. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. It is tiger yellow. You're you're right, Ron. It does Amazing Spider-Man 129. Now, hopefully, here's my fear with this piece. Scanners do not pick up the colors that accurate. This yellow could, because it does have some, uh, it's not like a lemon yellow. It does have some orange in it. It could turn completely orange on the scan. Or not completely orange, but it could pick up more of an orange tone to it. A photo is much better, but I can't get a straight photo from my iPhone to save my life. I've tried it. They never, I can never get one lined up perfect. And like I said, with the yellow, I don't mind this little bit of, it's not as abrupt as some of the colors, so I don't mind the yellows kind of having a little bit of a different uh, tint next to each other. It's not as severe as some of the other colors can get. So tend not to be too fussy with them. All right, so I'm thinking that that should do it for today. Let's get him centered here in the picture frame. Noah, it's $50 postage paid. You'll take it? All right. Do you know how to get a hold of me, Noah? Let me, you know what? Noah, down below it'll say show more. There is I think my email is in there. Can you shoot me an email? I don't think I'm following you, Noah, so I don't think your DM would come through. Hold on a minute. I'm popping my email address into the chat. There you go. Oh, okay. All right, Big Army. Well, there's my email. You can hit me up on that, and it's you know, I'll get right back with you. I'm gonna try to let this dry, get a scan of it, get my thumbnail made, and congratulations on picking up my first spiderham piece, which happens to be full color. So I want to thank everybody for showing up today. Tomorrow we are doing, and I think I already have the idea in mind where I'm going to do, it's going to be a split, kind of like a two-face. Half will be web-headed Peter Parker. The other half will be, well, I should just say Spider-Man. The other half will be Peter Parker, but it will be the spiderverse version, which is kind of interesting because they have him looking a little disheveled and older. Thank you, Dr. Kaz, for the tips on sitting. And I would really like to do something with you on just a quick video on back care for us long sitters. So I will be in touch with you as soon as I can and see if we can get something going on that. All right, everybody, take care. If you like it, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thumbs up, everybody. Give me a like on your way out. And I got to let this go now because it's going to drop. And I can't put, I can't really put tape on it. So anyway, yeah, there we go. I will see you all tomorrow, and have a great day. Take care. And again, thanks for joining me today.